Now, this illustration deals with raceway systems. Again, in accordance with 342, 344, 348, 350, and 352, which is some of our most popular raceway systems that we would use. Now, notice coming out of the gate, so to speak, here with a note, it says raceways do not have the same restriction that cables have, which can be proven by referencing 300.4A1, exceptions 1 and 2, 300.4A2, exceptions 1 and 2, is the documented sections we should review to get this information. Now, up at the very top left-hand side of the illustration, we have Raceway that's run on the face of the joist. 300.4D as in dog says protection provided. We go to the right, and the Raceway is run on the bottom of the joist. 300.4D says the Raceway, one of those listed in the illustration at the very caption at the bottom, considered protected. And then to the right, we have raceways run through the drill holes in the joist. General rules again, 300.4A1 applies downstream to other articles without modified. And notice, protection provided. The raceway that's run on top of the joist is the one that usually gets attention. But notice again, it's protected by 300.4D, as in dog. Now, I don't think any of us electricians are the sharpest knife in the drawer, but if you'll read these sections and study them, and they're not that many, you can just do this in your at night, set a little time aside to read up, and you won't be the dullest knife in the drawer then either. So increase your knowledge. And notice to the left, we have a weather head, and then our services that we looked at in chapter 6, you know, that's a service mast. And we have the meter set, and we just have a nipple through to the panel board. But now, remember, 230.85, 230.82, item 3 and 10, when those are reviewed, you need a disconnect ahead of that meter. Now, how is the authority having jurisdiction going to look at that? Are they going to say, well, if it's non-fusible disconnect, non-automatic, it's just a meter disconnect of the utilities, and they can, if the meter changes hand for any reason, they can just disconnect it, lock it, and they don't have to pull the meter and boot it and be exposed to these energized components and so forth. That 70E says, well, you got to be dressed up for the task. And they have to go through a little trouble to do that. So that might be the case. Or it might just be fusible or a circuit breaker with current sensing capability. Then it would be service equipment in accordance with 230.85 that you would review. But those three sections, if it's a dwelling unit, electricians, be aware of it. You have to start in 230.82, item 3, along with item 10, and 230.85, then you're going to get a good handle on this, how the authority having jurisdiction with a state, county, or city, along with the utility guidelines, are going to classify that disconnect. So keep that in mind, because you may run into a problem with this if you don't. So this illustration, though, mainly is just showing raceway systems, and notice they are protected without its EMT, and they may require protection if it's EMT. But this is up to the authority having jurisdiction, 90.4.